The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Looking to throw right away is Watson. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So a big defensive play there on the opening drive, no less, as they make the interception and bring it back for the score.
And I think that's a signal for how this defense wants to play. They want to be disruptive, and you know they're going to take some chances.
Well, sometimes it can burn you, but right there, it paid off. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. And, you know, it's certainly a lot of football left to play. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're in first place in their division, looking really good and looking to be a threat come January.
And are you one of those early holiday shoppers, partner? Are you one of those guys get your list done? Because I think about what every team has on their holiday shopping list right now. What's the number one goal? Make the playoffs. Number two, win your division. Number three, and I think the biggest goal of all, try to get the number one seed so you get that first round bye and ensure you don't have to go anywhere in January and hopefully get to the Super Bowl that way.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Watson to throw on 3rd and 1. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And he is going to have the Browns first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Watson now to throw. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. The Browns at 6-1 now through 7 weeks of the season. They coming on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
To the air yet again, Watson. Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Jordan Brooks with it. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football. He's on quite the interception run. He had 2 last week, another one here. Remember, he's not a DB, he's a linebacker.
But how many of those linebackers started as DBs and pumped themselves up into being linebackers? So the ball skills are the same, right? The coverage skills and responsibilities are the same, and he is paying it off in a big, big way.
After the interception, here's Jackson. He finds his man, complete. That's Fields. And they'll work this down inside the 30. Well, this defense for the Browns, they were excellent a week ago in the victory over Arizona.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers, 3 of them, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out.
First carry here for Ken Walker. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On.
And they run the option here on 1st and 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Lamar Jackson His 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Seahawks have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. The point after is good, and it's now 14-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor. But thank you, Dr. Bates. An excellent way to start the drive there. 18 yards. All the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. To throw is Watson. And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football. Well, I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
And I think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me, that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you've thrown this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. If this defense wants to stay in this ballgame, they've got to start ending some drives. That helps.
And they have to look ahead at what they expect the offense to do. And right now with that lead, that's run the football. So you don't just stack the line of scrimmage. You have to get upfield and try and make some plays in their backfield.
He finds his man, complete. It's Fields. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. Zero hesitation that time. That was get ball, throw ball.
Yeah, turn into a smoke route. If you see the coverage off the receiver, doesn't matter whether you call it a run or not. Just take the ball, get it out to him.
Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. On 3rd down, here's Walker. And he's got room. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Kenneth Walker, his 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Point after, up and good. And it's now 21-0. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The Browns drive about to get started. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit, and if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Darrell Taylor got in there to drop him. Not the start to this one that any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick 6, and here he ends up on his backside.
And you have to wonder to yourself, okay, after throwing the pick 6, did he get too careful with the football and not deliver downfield and take that sack? They've got to make sure that he's really into this game.
And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Kobe Bryant. And the Seahawks are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. Well, CD, you know, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. We have 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared, had excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
And the linebacker, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, on the tackle.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
46 yards rushing for him now to this point. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
And he's got the first down, yardage before being taken down at midfield. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Walker now on 1st and 10. There to make the tackle, Khalil Mack.
He's brought down at the 39-yard line. 1-yard gain brings up 2nd and 9.
21-0 our score after 1.
The score, Seahawks 21, Browns 0.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. And now Jackson will look to throw it. Flushed out right. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 10 yards and a Seattle first down.
And this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Back to Walker on 1st down. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 11 more on that one and another first down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Here's Walker. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Definitely an important sequence here for this defense. They've had their share of struggles in this first half, They just cannot afford to give up another touchdown here.
They've been in the red zone 3 times in this game and have not scored a single point. Can they break through here on 2nd and goal? On 2nd down, it's Walker. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
Well, the spotlight hit him once already tonight as he got into the end zone. He was trying to make it a double spotlight, wasn't he?
But credit the defense, bottling him up, not letting him get in for the 2nd score there. And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And not going to be able to push this forward. He runs into a wall right at the line of scrimmage. So out now is the Seattle field goal team. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And his kick is right there. It's good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
From deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Eluding the pressure right. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football. And I'm starting to wonder, Charles, if 5 interceptions, is that the last that we've seen of him?
Well, I think that a lot of people hope that's the last they've seen of him in this game, probably including himself. If this were baseball, the manager would have been at the mound already and asked for the ball, and he'd be in there getting a shower. But in football, you might have to go stand on the sideline and watch the rest of it and see if your backup can do any better.
Straight ahead, Walker. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. This defense could use a few more plays like that right now.
It certainly could, but think about it from an offense's perspective right now. They've got a lead, but they don't want to throttle down too much and stall themselves. Still want to move at a nice pace.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. 95 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
On the counter, it's Walker. And he won't get close. Only a yard, 4th and 3.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
So out now is the Seattle field goal team. On the right hash, officially this will be a 51-yard attempt. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. On 4th down, Matt Ariza sent on to punt. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it.
And now here's another interception. Tariq Woolen picks it, and the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football. Well, to be frank, CD, this is getting tough to watch. I mean, you feel for him, but 6 interceptions, that's at a whole new level. It's not a good level.
It makes it tougher and tougher to come up with ways to try and support him, but you have to as a team because you can't just throw your quarterback aside. You're going to need him later on, but it reminds me of a time that a former defense coordinator of mine told me he was in a game where his quarterback threw 7 interceptions. So after the 6-1, one of the defensive players went to the quarterback and said, here's what you do. Throw the ball to the other team, and let's see if our receivers can pick it off and turn it into a completion.
That's just mean. I don't know that I'd go down there and say that to him right now. Probably pretty fragile. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Sticking with Walker on second down. He will push his way down to about the 14. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
He needed 2. He got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard. So out now is the Seattle field goal team. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And this one is right through. And the lead increases even further. It's 27-0 now. So the fumble recovery had them set up in ideal field position, but they can muster only 3 points out of it.
Yeah, when you're able to force turnovers, especially when it results in field position like they had, you really want to make it hurt. Here, they take the field goal. That's definitely not what they were hoping for.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Buying time to his left. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting it once, you get first half scores just like this one.
They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. He's got his receiver, Cooper. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Now a 1st down throw, Watson. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
And he comes back with one complete. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 14 yards that time for number 14. So even though it's 1st down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. York able to send this one through, and that will cut the lead down to 3 scores at 24. Well, still trailing here, but they do get the late field goal. Now their defense will try to keep this score right where it is heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and trailing at the break, you obviously don't want to go in off of a negative play. Give them credit for that one. Finding a way to put points on the board. Give them any type of a spark, anything to build off of as they try and plan a comeback.
The drive will start with an option going left. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
At their own 18-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They'll start out here with the option left. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The first play of the second half, a big success, over 30 yards. So this play, until recently, only something you probably expect to see in a college game, but running quarterbacks are certainly in vogue, and this turned into a big play.
And you and I both know that for a long time, coaches worried about their quarterbacks taking too much punishment, running plays like this, and they still worry about it. But when you can break up big chunks of yardage like that, it's worth the risk. Plus, you're coaching that quarterback to see those guys coming and get down before the big hit occurs.
Out of the gun, Walker with it. And some space here. And he will be taken down, but not before he gets this to the Browns' 19-yard line. 138 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Again, it's Walker. And just a couple yards there down to the 17. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. Up the middle, here's Walker. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. A good gain there on 3rd and 8 of 7 yards, and now a decision here on 4th and 1.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Well, they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Browns drive about to get started. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one. You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
So now 3rd and 10. They had the big play to start the drive, but 2 incompletions since. Here's Watson. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Kobe Bryant. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the 3rd quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays. Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
They run again with Walker. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. Give him 8 yards on the carry, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
And this one is no good. He missed it.
Always disappointing when you miss a field goal, but when you're playing against a defense this good, you and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
That really sets him back. A loss of 6. So a nightmare start to the drive as they're already staring at 2nd and long. Jackson running again. And this Browns defense coming to life. They get him behind the line for a second straight play. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. A give for Walker running right. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to 4th down.
This offense really put themselves in a tough spot on 1st and 2nd down, needing long yardage to try and pick up a 1st down, and they ended up getting a great run. Explosive, picked up nice yardage. You don't expect to be in this situation on 4th down, but guess what? It all started with what happened on 1st and 2nd down. Really put them behind the 8 ball.
The Seahawks send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. That'll go for only 17 yards on the punt. And the Browns will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Browns drive about to get started. It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
But we saw that he had a lot of success last week throwing the football, but that hasn't translated to this week. But with his team behind, I don't expect him to back off. I expect him to keep firing.
Third quarter on a Monday night with a 2nd and 10 coming up. Throwing again is Watson. That's complete to Peoples-Jones. Finding room at midfield. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Watson looks to throw again. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there, it's going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Watson on 1st down. Flush to his right. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I'm not quite sure what he thought he saw there, but the reality was certainly a much different picture than what he anticipated. And give credit to the defense. They were down on the flash when he broke out of there, and they forced him out with almost nothing to show for his efforts.
To throw again on 2nd down. Watson. And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. Quick throw completed by Watson. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. They get Jack Conklin there, the right tackle. A terrible spot for a holding call as they'll try again, but now from further back on 1st and goal. Back to throw, Watson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. They make a good bit of that yardage back as they're set up in much better shape now for 2nd and goal.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Now Watson on 3rd and goal. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Desperation time. Watson on 4th down. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. down to Peoples-Jones. A 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Browns are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter. Now Cade York for the extra point. And the lead is down to 20.
Makes the score Seahawks 30, Browns 10.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the fourth quarter, Charles, but you got the football, you're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Well, everybody was up there ready at the line of scrimmage, CD, but no snap, and the delay of game ensued.
Yeah, and I'm sure their head coach is asking the exact same thing. What's going on out there? Almost like they thought they had more time than actually was on the clock.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Boy, 175 yards rushing for him here as he starts to draw closer to a 1,000-yard campaign.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
A rough go there on 3rd down, a loss of 4.
Considering they've seen him have some big gains against them throughout this game, that's got to feel like a measure of revenge as they trap him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Nowhere to go that time. It's a 46-yard punt with a loss on the return. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Cleveland offense ready to go. Remember, they have won 3 straight, but getting to 4 straight does not appear to be in the cards as they are in a big fourth quarter hole. On 1st down, it's Watson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he gets it here to right around the 24 before he's out of bounds. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it's 2nd down. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. 3rd and 2, Watson. Complete to Bryant. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. That's good for a Cleveland 1st down, an 11-yard pickup. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case. Down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
On 2nd and 7, Watson. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
Escaping the pressure right. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson. A quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Watson. And that will be incomplete as well. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
But no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
So a big play there on 4th, and now 1st and 10 at the 30. And they take a knee. And they'll indeed take a knee. And they will take a knee here. So the victory here for Seattle. And it was a game where they were off and running in the 1st quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So for the Seahawks, that's now 5 wins on the campaign as they get the job done here. And they'll get another road test next week as they have to go to Santa Clara to take on